Hello and welcome to day 3 of 30 days of doodles. Today we get to do some of my very favorite stuff, which is draw some sweet foods. And we're starting out with a donut, which means we are going to start to use some circle shapes. Circles intimidate some people, but I don't want you to feel intimidated. We're going to make this nice and easy, and even if you feel like you can't draw a good circle, just stick with me, please. So I like to just start in pencil, and sometimes I get it right away, and sometimes I just have to kind of keep going around with my pencil to get that nice shape. So with this, we're going to start with a large circle and then put a very small circle in the middle. From there, we're adding some frosting with a wavy line that goes just inside the larger circle all the way around, and those high points are going to touch the outside circle. And then we're going to do the same thing to the inner circle, but the wavy line will be on the outside of the inner circle, not the inside. So now we'll go in with our black pen and we're going to trace around all the lines that we made before we add any little fine details like sprinkles. To add sprinkles, I am going to use my extra small Faber-Castell pen. If you don't have a smaller tip pen, that's perfectly fine. Just use your regular pen. And then I'm drawing these very narrow little ovals all around it at different angles. So some are kind of horizontal, some are diagonal, some are straight up and down. And just do it until you like it. Our second doodle is an ice cream cone. Now this is something that I do a lot to show different shapes whenever I'm doing doodle tutorials. So we're going to start with that same circular shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is a blob of ice cream. And then on the bottom, we're going to draw a triangle. And how I like to do this is I like to draw a vertical line from the circle all the way down the middle, and then make my diagonal lines to make that triangle come to touch that center line, and that just kind of helps me keep it all straight. But this is how we're going to break it down, even though this is not going to be the perfect final shape of our doodle. So we have our circle on top, and then we are adding these little dips and wavy lines for like chocolate syrup, and then I'm adding a ridge to the bottom of that circle and at the top of the triangle where they meet, and that's kind of where the ice cream has plopped on top, if you will. So now I'm going to go over all the lines that we made with our black pen. We are not going to go over that center vertical line. That was just a guideline to show us where the middle of our cone was so that we knew where the bottom tip of that cone should be. Remember that the initial shapes you're going to draw here are going to be a lot of guidelines, so you're not always going to be following them. So for instance, in this one we didn't draw a complete circle at the end. That was just the initial shapes we made to make up this ice cream cone. So after you've gone over all the lines that you needed to go over, we're going to take our fine point pen and we're going to create a grid pattern on the bottom to make a waffle cone. So to do this, I'm just taking diagonal lines from the left hand side and pulling them down and at an angle to the right, and then I am moving to the other side and I'm starting from the left and drawing diagonal lines up and to the right, and that'll give you that waffle cone feel. And then finally I'm going to add some sprinkles on top of this too, because who doesn't like sprinkles? But for this one I just did little circles. Our last doodle for today is a cookie, so another round shape. So we're going to start with that same circle, and like I said, don't be intimidated by circles. Just keep going. You will eventually get the hang of it, and nobody draws a perfect circle. And then in the upper left hand corner, or wherever you want, we're going to create this little half circle kind of shape just for a bite mark. So then we're going to create these little round arches all the way around, because a teeth bite isn't perfectly straight. And then we're going to go over those and then all the way around the circle, leaving out the piece that would be bitten out. Now we're going to pick up our pencil again to add our details. So one thing I like to add to this is this line of frosting that's kind of wavy as if it was drizzled on the cookie. So I'm going to go over it once, and then I'm going to trace around the inside, and then it goes around the outside and then back to the inside until we have this thicker line that goes all the way around. And then we'll take our pen, and either one is fine. In my case, I'm just going to use the small pen again. And when we're done doing that, we will add some final details with some dots and some little maybe chunks of chocolate or whatever else you want to have on your cookie. And when you're done doing that, just erase your remaining pencil lines and you are done with 3 sweet doodles for today. So remember that you can share your doodles with me on Instagram with the hashtag 30 Days of Doodles with TPP. Also tag me at the Petite Planner. I love to see what you guys are doing. Keep up the good work, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.